And I'm going to be brief here because I'm actually on my way somewhere and there's a finite window. I just bought this phone, which is the Sony Ericsson VIVAZ, and I bought it primarily because of the video recording function, which happens to shoot in HD video. The actual phone itself I'm not that impressed with, but you know, I guess if you're wanting to buy this phone, it's because you're, like myself, really interested in the HD video aspect. Now, there's plenty of videos on the VIVAZ on YouTube and a gazillion other video uploading sites, but I really wanted to I don't really want to talk about the rest of the phone. The whole purpose of this video is really to look at the picture quality that you get from this video, from this actual camera, because you know there's a ton of videos on the actual phone itself, and some on the camera and some on the quality, but I really just wanted to sort of play about with you know, the different sort of light levels. Now, what I have found with this particular camera is that, or the camera, the HD, is that HD as a whole, in the shade or in sort of twilights or you know, overcast, darkened situations, it does go a little bit grainy. And I'll just cross the road and I'll show you that. Just going to find a bit of sun, a bit of shade, and you'll see what I mean, that it does go a little bit grainy in the dark areas. It might adjust. It has got an auto exposure on it, but you know, it will go a little bit mucky in the dark areas when you're you know, shooting sort of in the evening or in a darkened scene. So I mean, you can see that for yourself. I don't know how dark I am. I can probably up the exposure. There is a manual exposure that you can ride, which is a little bit difficult if I'm pointing at myself, but if I'm shooting and I'm looking through the back, I can ride the exposure as I like. So you can see what it looks like in the sun, in the shade, and here's what it looks like in the sun. And you can see from the sort of the shadows that the colours, you can see the shadows are nice and rich. You see the shadow on the floor there, and as you can see, the colours on this green here, or they should be, are quite something, are quite sort of staggering. The colours that you get from basically from the HD, and if we go over here, I can't really see what the picture's looking like here, but if I you know, again, you can see it's got a nice kind of, it's not overexposing too much along the top here, because it's kind of working as a backlight, and generally it will overexpose when the sun is being used as a backlight. You know, you've still got detail there. That brick is probably about 2 stops under, well, it's probably a bit more than that, but you can see that you've still got detail in the shade there, and this is without the autofocus on. I've just kind of judged, I've split the exposure between the sun and the shade, so it's acceptable. There is a zoom function on here. I haven't really used that. Obviously I can't use the zoom function when I'm sort of pointing it at myself, but on the whole, let me point it over there so you can see that sort of dramatic sky. On the whole, you can see that the quality is very, very good, and the colour representation is also quite natural. What else? What else? Yeah, it's basically, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the flip camera, which came out a year or so ago, maybe a bit more. It was a HD camera about the size of a mobile phone that basically was, everybody went nuts for, because it just meant you could shoot HD video with a very small camera anywhere, basically anywhere in the world. It was a tiny little thing, and it was HD shooting, but you know, that was great for the time. That was excellent, you know, not to be sniffed at all. But obviously you've still got to plug it into a computer to upload it to all your favourite sites and onto the net. But with this, although this was £300 on pay as you go, it is the equivalent of a flip camera, which will enable you to basically, I can upload this now on my way walking to the shop. So, you know, it's that little bit better than a flip camera. So you can look at it as a flip camera, which would cost you about £150. A flip camera that will actually enable you to upload the footage as well as just shooting it. Alright, this is Nick J. Barrett. I shall speak to you on the next video.